At a certain point, in the late 60s, he sort of secretly let me know that he was very sympathetic to this transformation. And whenever we got together, we had lunch, the first half hour, and sometimes the whole lunch would be spent exchanging horror stories about what was going on in the New York Review or the London Review, and particularly that was a point at which the left in this country and all over the world was beginning to turn against Israel, which it had been supportive of in the past. And we spent a lot of time denouncing that particular aspect of left-wing culture in those days. So this was a John that I doubt very many people ever had the privilege to see or to be exposed to, and I want to throw this into the general memory of him. He was one of the most marvelous men I've ever had the privilege to know, and we shall not look upon his like again, and I think we're all on the whole are diminished considerably by his loss.
Absolutely. Let me just say, I was telling someone earlier that I loved John, I loved being with him. There was something medicinal about being with John. He made you feel better. There was a sympathetic quality, also a kind of consoling quality, and he made the world lighter, and time with him just flew by, and you left him with a kind of spring in your step. And I've talked about this kind of John Gross medicine. There was the erudition and the jokes, the sympathy, this is strange, a gossip that was somehow not so gossipy.
Yeah.
You know, it was
kind gossip.
It was.
There's such a thing.
Yeah.
Or sort of
contextual gossip.
Sweet gossip.
Mm.
It was sweet. It was the kind of gossip you could repeat.
Yes. So I always came away from time with John feeling better. Everything seemed brighter. He was great when you were low and great when you were high, and of course he knew much more than you. Of course he knew much more than I, and yet he listened to you. And I'm not sure I've ever known anyone more companionable or civilized. And I'll remember him always. And fortunately, it comes through in the writing, and that is imperishable for those who want to look at it.
As John was immensely generous and kind, but he also didn't suffer fools at all. And I picked up this book, his Oxford Book of Common Verse, and I was reading all the different things in it, which is everything you can imagine, from Cole Porter to this, which might tell how he might have felt about some of the books he would read. And I'm going to read a paragraph by Clive James. It's called, "The book of my enemy has been remaindered." And here it goes. "The book of my enemy has been remaindered, and I am pleased. In vast quantities it has been remaindered, like a vanload of counterfeit that has been seized and fit in piles in a police warehouse. My enemies much prized effort took these piles. In the kind of bookshops where remaindering occurs, great square stacks of rejected books, and between them aisles one passes down reflecting on life's vanities, pausing to remember all those thoughtful reviews lavished to no avail upon one's enemy's book. For behold, here is that book among these ranked banks of duds, these ponderous and seemingly irreducible kinds of complete stiff." And the only other thing that maybe the other thing I'm not going to read it was I was thinking of reading the lyrics to Brush Up Your Shakespeare, and it reminded me of John. Everyone of them.
It's amazing. It's all John doing some wonderful advice. I have gotten his book, which I was telling you I didn't get them. It's very important. As soon as you get his book, you write a question or tell the person how much you look forward to reading.
That's lovely.
I didn't think of it.
It's very nice that some of you all, many of you have known him for a really long time. I hope that you all look much younger than but maybe Michelle, when you met my dad in Israel, in Jerusalem, you were 18.
How old was John when you met him?
He was 18, and you were too.
You were 3.
Yeah, exactly. What was John doing in Israel at 18?
We were spending the summer in Israel.
And
Well,
working
some
on
of his
the books or
family
something?
moved there already.
Oh, really?
We were
Quite a lot
sitting
of
under a tree in Jerusalem and talking about the meaning of life. And we toured Israel. It was a very small place, still is, but especially then. We spent a lot of time.
So just before he went to university?
I guess. Maybe during the summer or something.
Tom, was there a communist uncle or a communist-leaning uncle? And then John would tease him about Burke.
His name was Maury. So.
Uncle Maury. And then Uncle Maury said, Burke called the working people the swinish multitude, and that's all I need to know.
Everybody has one of those uncles.
I want to echo what you said, which was John had the most wonderful capacity for enlisting you in a kind of conspiratorial, warm friendship about something. I met him at a dinner party when he'd just come to New York, to the New York Times, and I was working at Vanity Fair and had been at the New York Times book review. So we instantly went off in a corner, and he told me Tina Brown had just come to the Vanity Fair. And he told me everything about Tina and Harry, and I told him everything about the book review, and we became fast friends in that one moment. It was wonderful.
My wife went off to get something. Thank you.
Tom asked me to make.
Yes, I was. So I can tell you that this would have been.
This is a drink for my father. And I don't want to say, among other things, as I mentioned, my father had a very happy temperament. He, I'm sure, would want to be remembered in good spirit as you are, rather than sadness, you know, have a smile on your face and so on. And we're going to have a toast, but Anne, his first cousin, who lives in upstate New York, has known him longer than any of us, from your whole life. So I'm going to ask Anne to make the toast.
Yes, I mean, all my memories of John are good. He used to come to my parents' seders, Passover seders, year after year, and always entertain us with stories. He was unfailingly generous. When I was studying literature, and he knew I was interested, he made sure that the TLS was sent to me, you know, as a several years subscription. I didn't even ask for it, but it arrived. He would always get me copies of his book and send them to me. And he even gave me a copy of the Book of Parodies, although he wasn't healthy enough to sign it for me. But I just remember him with great fondness. Whenever I would go to visit family in England, I would always stop and see him. And he would always take me out for coffee or lunch or to an exhibit or something. My whole family loved him. My mother felt he was like her little brother. So, you know, there was a great fondness for him, and he will be sorely missed. So to John.
John.
Thank you. Okay. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. But there's no need, unless Jean is throwing us off straight away, we can mingle for a few more minutes.
Whatever. No, it's my house. Really?
Hi, Jack. Nice to meet you.
Sorry,
Are you in Chattanooga still? Or where are you?
Man of letters.
The Blue Dolphins?
Lovely to see you. Thanks so much.